You know, I like a glass of wine when I'm doing the cooking. Don't I all? Don't I like a glass of wine when I'm preparing the evening meal? Chips and egg. You know, I never used to drink wine. It was our Melandra that started me on this. She said to me, she said, Mother, nobody drinks rum and coke these days. Everybody drinks wine now. Oh, Mother, won't you have a glass of Riesling instead? Kids. They know everything, don't they? Our Melandra was going through her slightly intellectual phase at the time. You know, her and her mate, Sharron Louise. Because it was all white wine and Bruce Springsteen at the time. You know, the pair of them stopped going down the clubs in town and started hanging out in that bistro all the time. You know, where the artists go. They seen, what's his name one night? Henry Adrian, yeah. Apparently, Sharron Louise got his autograph. And breakfast as well, I believe. But anyway, the pair of them are out of that phase now. And am I glad? Because, you know, the two of them would sit at that table for hours and all you'd hear from the pair of them was, it was great, it was great. It was a laugh, wasn't it? And then the pair of them would go back into a trance for half an hour and you'd suddenly hear, it was brilliant last night, it was more than brilliant, it was mega brill. Yeah, it was double fab, wasn't it? And you know, no matter how long they sat there, you'd never get to know what it was that was so double fab and mega brill. Maybe it was the breakfast. Mind you, I do miss them, the kids. Our Melandra, she has a flat with Sharron Louise now. And our Brian's living in a squat in Kirby. I said to him, I said, listen Brian, if you're going to live in a squat, son, can you pick somewhere nice? You know, somewhere like Chilwell. Mother, he said to me, Chilwell is no place for a poet. Because that's our Brian's latest scheme, you see. He's always got a scheme. This one is, he's become Britain's first ever busker poet. And what's he like, Wall? The language. I hate the frickin' daffodils. I hate the blue remembered hills. He's looped the loop. Mind you, I'm glad he's given up archery. Oh my, would you look at the time? What am I doing? Sitting here talking. And he'll be in for his tea, won't he? And what's he like? My fella. What's he like, Wall? Well, he likes everything to be as it's always been. Like his tea always has to be on the table, just as he comes through that door. Like if his tea isn't landing on the table, just as his foot is landing on that mat, there's ructions. I've given up arguing. Because I said to him, I said, listen Joe, if your tea isn't on the table at the same time every night, it doesn't mean that the pounds collapsed, you know, or that there's been a world disaster. All it means, Joe, is that one of the billions of human beings on this planet has to eat his tea at a different time. Did it do any good? I could have been talking to that. Couldn't I, Wall? I could have been talking to you. But I said I'd always leave him when the kids grew up. But by the time they'd grown up, there was nowhere to go. And you don't start again at 42, do you? And they say, don't they? Once you reach your 40s, life gets a bit jaded, and the only things in life are the things in the past. Well, I must have been an early developer. I felt like that at 25. But I'm not saying he's bad, my fella. He's just so bleeding good. Mind you, I think most of them are the same though, aren't they? I mean, they're lovely at first, you know, when they're courting you. Before you've had the horizontal party with them. Oh, they're marvellous then. But they'll do anything for you. Nothing is too much trouble. But the very minute after they first had you, their behaviour starts to change. It's like that advert, isn't it? I was watching it just the other night. You know, the milk tray man. And he's marvellous, isn't he? You see him, he dives off a 1,000-foot cliff and swims across 2 miles of water just to drop off a box of chocolates. And you learn from that the lady loves milk tray. And that the lady's been keeping her legs firmly closed. Because if she hadn't, if he'd have had his way with her, he wouldn't go there by diving off a 1,000-foot cliff and swimming through a raging torrent. He'd have gone by bus. And there'd be no chocolates.